All right, got my fish on a Whopper Plopper. Not sure what it is. Probably a rock bass. Ah, it's a smallmouth. Okay, well, that's pretty cool. Got myself a... Oh, it's a largemouth. Okay. There we go. It's a largemouth. At first I thought it was a smallmouth, but you can see right there, that's a pretty little largemouth. Probably only about 8 inches, maybe 9, but that's pretty cool. Let's get them back in the water and let them get bigger. All right, got myself a nice smallmouth. Caught it on the Whopper Plopper. Let me get my net, because he's a decent one. There we go. Yes. Woo. Give myself a little bit of space. There we go. Well, I caught myself a nice bass. Let me get this undone. Okay, let me see. How am I going to perform this? You got 2 hooks in almost the exact same spot. There we go. Well, look at that beautiful fish. What a beautiful smallmouth. That is huge for a river smallmouth. So I'm gonna do a quick measurement on it. "15.5 inches. A little skinny, but definitely a beautiful beautiful smallmouth bass. So let's let him go. Nothing like getting splashed. Oh, that was awesome. Wonderful fish. I see him swimming down the river right now, so. All right. All right, got myself, oh, he just kicked off. Turning on the camera, he kicked off, but it was a smallmouth bass. A little one, probably only about 8 inches, maybe 9 inches at best. I do love the Whopper Plopper. I do believe it gives us multiple different levels and presentations that you can do. There's a number of ways that you could use it. It kind of reminds me of having like a jitterbug, a buzzbait, and a popper, and all of those in one. So it just really makes for a great lure that catches a lot of fish. Here's a beautiful section that I'm fishing, and I should be able to get some fish over here. So we're going to see what happens. This is basically coming up on a bend in the river, and my experience has been is that bends in the river are always a positive for catching fish. So if you can get it into the bend, you will definitely have a great opportunity to catch them. Of course, what you don't want to do is ride up on the fish. You will turn around and spook them, so I'm going to back on out, turn this off for a minute until I get readjusted. All right, I got a fish. Not sure what kind it is. All right, let me get my net ready. Ah, it's a catfish. All right. All right, well. Okay, stop spinning. There we go. Wasn't necessarily looking for a catfish, but this river has some decent ones in it, so I won't complain. I came this time with my little grippy. Let me just make sure I'm not getting hurting the catfish. There we go. All right, well, you can see a pretty nice catfish right there, so I'm gonna let this one go. It's probably only about 13 inches, maybe 13 and a half, but go ahead and get bigger, buddy. All right, well, that was pretty cool. Ah, caught a baby catfish. All right. No, I'm just going to try to get them off. I don't want to. Unfortunately, with that one, I had to just let it go. It was hooked in such a way, in such a space, that if I would have tried to finagle, I tried to get a hold of it, and you know, I actually held it and tried to get it that way, and it was just so cut in the bottom part of its mouth and the thick membrane and muscle and that stuff in there, that if I would have just aggressively took that hook out there, and there was no way I was going to back it up, it was pretty stuck in there, so I cut it. I don't generally like to leave you know, a hook in the mouth of a fish, but I would much rather have the hook in the fish's mouth and let it rust out, because they're built so that they rust out, than to basically cause the death of the fish because I'm trying to get my hook out of it and thinking I'm saving it when all I'm really doing is going to kill the fish. So that's what you just saw. I was trying to get it. It's small. It has much life still in it. So I figured the best thing to do is I'd rather lose my minnow and my jig than to lose the fish. So let's get back to fishing. Oh, I wish this could be recorded. I wish this could be recorded on both of my cameras. I caught two fish at the same time. I've never seen this before. I mean, I did catch this once before on the Great Miami. I had it, but I've never had it in this place where I caught two of them at the exact same time. But I'm not going to pick it up because I don't want to hurt the fish any more than it's necessary. One hook is by the eye, but let me see if I can get it out without hurting. Maybe if I get the other one first. All right, there we go. Took me a moment to get everything together, but you're not going to believe this. I went fishing, cast my Whopper Plopper, and caught two bass at the same time, two largemouth bass. So I'm going to show you the first one. I'm getting it out now, but there's the first one I caught. Probably roughly around 12 inches, so what a beautiful fish. So I'm really excited about that. 12-inch bass there. And if he wasn't big enough, I caught this one. Literally, all together, I caught this big boy. This one's probably around, I'd say maybe about 15 inches, maybe 15 and a half. But yeah, caught these two boys, or girls, maybe boy and a girl, I'm not sure. But caught these guys together on my Whopper Plopper. One bit the top, one bit the bottom, part of the lure. But yeah, really cool. I love when something like that happens. So that's a twofer. So I'm gonna let these guys go, let them get bigger, let them get back to their spot. All right, so we'll let the little guy go first. And we'll let the girl go. All right, that was fun. Now, one of the things I want to share with you is that when you go fishing and you have an experience like I just had where you just caught two fish on at one time, do make sure you go and look at your lure. Make sure there's nothing wrong with the hooks or nothing's bent up and not working properly. And then also check your line. You want to make sure that there's no frays or any other kind of thing like that, because the last thing you want is to have another beautiful large bass or muskie or pike or something hit and then have your line where it has a weak spot, and then in that weak spot literally it snaps and you lose it. If you recall, in one of my recent videos, I think it might have been my last video, I used my Whopper Plopper, had a monster fish hit at bass, and unfortunately I wasn't recording so you couldn't see it, but I lost the fish, I lost the Whopper Plopper because it didn't have strong line. There was a fray, there was something wrong with it. The line was weak up to 20 feet into my thing. I could literally manually hold it and snap it just by grabbing it. So I replaced it. I was good after that, had no issues. So always check your line. Make sure your line is not going to break. Always make sure your lures are in proper working order, because you never want to lose a fish. There's no worse feeling than catching that big dream fish that you want and then losing it. Well, I just tested my line pretty good, made sure everything was right on it and okay, and it is. So I'm going to head back out and see if I can catch some more fish. So let's go see. All right, got myself a little smallmouth here. I want to get this hook out before it hurts him. His mouth, that is. There we go. There we go. Nice little pretty smallmouth. So we'll let that smallmouth go. My juice in my GoPro 7 silver is getting a little low, so I'm going to save on that for the right now and just use my GoPro 8 one. I think I'll be in a better place to try to catch some footage with you. And you'll have to look at my ugly mug, sorry about that. But yeah, I want to get some footage of catching some of these fish, which I'll be doing later. But right now I just want to give this a test. It's not necessarily, it seems to be a lot of catfish hang out in this particular section of this river. There are some bass, and of course, you know, there's smallmouth and also largemouth. And I tend to find that when you get a largemouth and you get a number of largemouth in a section, more than likely you're going to run into catfish more frequently, and you're also going to run in far less frequent. You're going to run into the smallmouth bass and walleye and others like that. They really prefer the water to be cooler. So if you can give them a cooler water source. Oh, they like that. I got one. Oh, he let it go. All right. I'll cast back over there. Couldn't tell what that one was. It looked a little like a crappie, but I could be wrong. I'd love to find another crappie spot on this river. I switched up my two GoPros. I actually got my GoPro 8 now on my chest and my GoPro 7 silver on my kayak. I tend to use the one on the kayak a little bit less than I use the one on my chest, but we'll see if that makes a difference. Got a big one coming, and it's just a matter of time. Ah, hopefully you were able to see that. I got a feeling, you know, that gut feeling that you know you're about to stumble upon a big one. Got a little fish hitting it, but I thought for sure I'd have one of the big boys hitting it. Let me just make sure there's nothing messing it up. Performance on these things is everything. If you get the right performance on it, you will get bass, you'll get pike. I haven't caught a muskie on one of these, but I'll be curious to see how that goes. Whoa! Right. There we go. Yes. Whew. That was a nice explosion. That's what I was waiting for. That's the first one of the day. All right, let me get this off out of the net. There we go. And let me get my pliers. It's not really a bad hook, it's just one that I won't be able to do with my tips of my finger. Now this is the tricky one. He got it in his mouth and both sides, so there we go. He actually helped me to kick it out. All right, slow down, buddy. There we go. I love it when they help you get them out, but there he is, beautiful smallmouth bass. I got a little bit of a mouth wound there for me from the hook and that, but he should do okay. But what a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful smallmouth bass. Probably roughly around 12, I'd say 12 inches, maybe 12 and a half, but yeah, it's a beautiful one. But we'll put him in there and get back. And of course, as I shared with you before I even make my next cast, I will be making sure that my line and all of that is in good shape. And you know, I don't fish with braided line. I'm one of those people that actually prefers the monofilament, so that's what I use when I fish. And I love the feel, I love the tug of the fish and all of that stuff. So I do know that there are people who will only use braided or some other type of line, and that's fine. I mean, there's no issue with that. It's just I'm one of those people that actually prefers to have monofilament and have that sense and that feel. I like a little bit of give and play in my line when I'm fishing. But let's get back out there. All right, had a little bit of a break. All right. He's a nice one too. Woo. All right. Real nice bass. All right, you're gonna see it's a beast of a smallmouth. From the looks of it, you'll get a better look of it once I get the hook out of it. Yeah, it's because it's stuck in the net that's creating the bigger issue for me. There we go. Sorry, didn't mean to hurt you anymore. But if you look at this fish, you will notice its mouth. I'm going to turn it upside down so you get a better look. But if you look at its mouth right there, you could tell that at some point in time it had tried to eat something, or someone had hooked it, and when they hooked it, they ripped it out. But you could see that that is a huge bass. I'm going to see size wise, 13, 14, 15, 16 inches. So it's a 16-inch bass, smallmouth. It's a little thin, which means it's probably got done spawning, but what a beautiful fish. And I just hope that mouth will heal. It looks like it's already a healing mouth. It's just unfortunately a wounded mouth. But it doesn't look like it's hurting the fish, so we're going to let him go, let him get bigger. All right. Well, that was a great catch. That was a great catch, and really excited about that one. So, all right. Got another smallmouth. This one's a small one. I caught him in the back and in the front. Oops. Let me get you. The back one should come off pretty easy. There we go. And let me just get some loose line. I should be able to get that from your mouth. Oh, just pricked myself. That's a pretty little bass. So this one has kind of a more dull color to it, but definitely a pretty one. I like the stripes that they have on these, but beautiful smallmouth bass. So let's let them go.